Alice Phillips. Day 1, Cairo, I'm here. Day 2, Giza, you stole my breath. After a traditional Egyptian breakfast, hello, falafel creamy fava beans, my guide I headed straight for the Giza Plateau. There they were, the Great Pyramids, larger, older, more powerful than anything I had ever seen. I stood in awe, dwarfed by time itself. Climbing partway up, I ran my fingers along the rough stone. Imagine the heft that placed each block thousands of years ago. Then the Sphinx, majestic, mysterious, half lion, half human. It stared out like a guardian of forgotten secrets. The Valley Temple nearby gave me chills, its symmetry, its silence. Lunch was local, spicy, comforting. Then to the Gree Egyptian Museum, gem. Modern, bright, filled with ancient wonders. Seeing Tutankhamun's treasures in such a futuristic space created the most surreal contrast. Summary of the day. Sting before the pyramids felt like meeting the past in person. Day 3, Mummies, Minarets. The National Museum of Egyptian Civilization was my first stop. Sleek, atmospheric. I moved quietly through the royal mummies, struck by how fragile, eternal they seemed at once. Kings, queens, their skins still whispering stories from millennia ago. Old Cairo was a time warp. Cobbled alleys, Christian churches with incense in the air, walls that have seen centuries of faith. We had lunch in a local spot, fresh bread, tahini, grilled meats. I chatted with my guide about life in Cairo today. Finally, we ascended the Salah el-Din Citadel. From there, the whole city unfolded before me. Minarets, satellite dishes blending into one vibrant chaos. Inside the Gram Muhammad Ali Mosque, light poured through stained glass in soft colors, wrapping everything in serenity. Summary of the day. Today felt like walking through the layers of Egypt's soul, from ancient kings to medieval fortresses. Day 4, south to Aswan, my floating home. An early flight, a smoothing later, I arrived in Aswan, colorful, warm, with the Nile shining like polished glass. We transferred directly to the Noon Dahabiya. I couldn't stop grinning. This was going to be home for a few dreamy days. We lunched on board as we set sail toward Komombo, warm breeze tousling my hair. Walking through Komombo felt magical. Locals smiled as we strolled, kids waved. The temple itself was eerie symmetrical. 2 halves dedicated to 2 gods, all bathed in golden late afternoon light. Dinner on board, under the stars, anchored near Bashir Isla. I could hear only the Nile, the occasional bird call. Summary of the day. I slept on the Nile tonight. Can anything beat that? Day 5, Stone Secret Sunset Tea. Breakfast watching the water glide by. It was becoming my favorite ritual. At Gebel El Silsila, we stepped into ancient quarries, then hiked up Silsila Mountain. My breath caught. Below us stretched endless Nile green banks, dotted with palm trees. Back on the Dahabiya, we sailed to Fawza Island. Tea on the sun deck as the sun melted into the horizon. I've never known peace like that. That evening's dinner felt sacred somehow, wrapped in night laughter. Summary of the day. Hiking above the Nile made me feel like part of the landscape itself. Day 6. Temples, tiny villages. Edfu welcomed us with warmth, dust temple walls that reached the sky. The Temple of Horus was astoundingly well preserved, colossal, proud, echoing with centuries. I arrived by horse-drawn carriage, hooves clip-clopping through streets where children peeked out of courtyards. This is why I travel, to feel the heartbeat of a place. Later, we stopped at El Kab village. The tiny temple was worn but noble. I walked slowly through the village. Mud brick homes, sleepy dogs, life unfolding under the hot sun. Dinner near El Hegzizil. Again, under stars that felt closer than anywhere else I've been. Summary of the day. The temple may be old, but it was the smiles in the village that stayed with me. Day 7. Esna to Luxor's Grrr. Our final sail brought us to Esna, where the Dahabiya life came to a graceful end. Then onward to Luxor. What an ending it was! The Karnak temple was vast, humbling. Every column seemed to whisper secrets. Every carving alive. I could have spent hours just looking up. The Valley of the Kings. Utterly silent, sacred. The tombs were more elaborate than I imagined, their colors vibrant, their walls alive with Pharaoh's stories. A short flight later, I was back in Cairo, heart full, eyes wide, soul stirred. Summary of the day. Karnak made me feel small, in the best, most awe-inspired way. Day 8. Farewell, Egypt. My last breakfast in Cairo felt bittersweet. Egypt had wrapped itself around me, through its temples, its Nile, its people. At the airport, I looked back one last time. I came for history, but left with something deeper. Connection. Final impression. Egypt, you'll never leave me now.